When a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government, and to provide new guards for their future security. This expert from the Declaration of Independence was the argument for independence from Britain, a people abused, neglected, and taken advantage of by their government, took a stand against the mightiest empire in the world to pursue an experiment, a vision, and a dream. Through the blood and toil of the first patriots, the farmers who left bloodied footprints in the snow at Trenton, the warriors at Saratoga who proved that even the British Army could be beaten in conventional combat, the army at Yorktown who gave the world the first taste of American military might. Their resilience and perseverance lives on in us, the American people. But that's dying. We as a country fought to gain our independence from a foreign power, and then we fought to preserve our nation. Though the wars are long ended, the fight continues. Texan politicians continually call for secession. Congressional officials such as Marjorie Taylor Greene call for national separation by party. Protests rage in our cities as misinformed and angry citizens spread partisan hatred and fear throughout the nation. We no longer have the united passion to fight overseas powers for the survival and flourishment of our nation. We now have the divided hatred to fight amongst ourselves for the betterment of organizations and segregated communities. The greatest threat to the United States is not a nuclear weapon from an overseas rival. It is not an invasion from the southern border, and it is not an attack on military personnel in foreign countries. It is ourselves. As we have seen from the lawlessness and misinformation at Columbia, Berkeley, and UCLA, the violence on January 6th in Charlottesville, the takeover of neighborhoods by Antifa, the BLM riots, and the molding of an entire generation to believe that other Americans are enemies of the state. We have created a greater division and crisis not seen since the American Civil War. In doing so, two majorities have been formed in the American youth. On one hand, there is the passionate and angry side that has taken the partisan route. They fill the streets and the internet with hatred and divisiveness. They only burn bridges of unity and national pride. The partisan right pushes their MAGA movement in reviving a nationalist America that is only for conservatives, bringing America to one ideology rather than the free republic built on Western liberalism that we are. The partisan left pushes a movement that seeks to destroy our national pride and culture, and in doing so, spreads doubt in what it means to be an American. And though they claim to only want the progression of social and economic justice and equality, their policies and ideologies bring us closer to segregated conformity. They have also twisted the definition and idea of liberalism in saying that and created this false narrative that it bows to their emotions rather than to truth and progression. The other category of American youth is the group that sees this dramatic events and wants absolutely nothing to do with this senseless nonsense. They believe America is a lost cause. In doing this, not only do they spit on the graves of the 1.3 million American warriors who have given their lives for the idea of the United States, but they also prove Plato's classic and wise words: if you do not take an interest in the affairs of your government, you are doomed to live under the rule of fools. This nation is in dire need for political revival of truth and accountability. America is starving for revival. She is starving for truth. She is starving for stability. And she is starving to be the United States of America, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have you forgotten who you are? We, as Americans, are the descendants of patriots, visionaries, who could smell freedom and revolution in the air, who took a chance and fought an impossible fight to birth a new nation. Immigrants who yearn for prosperity and freedom, who left their homes, their cultures, and everything that they knew to start a new life in this strange new world and settle this land. Immigrants who fought to shape their own countries in every corner of the globe. The French and Germans who built, fought, and died on barricades in Paris and Berlin in the March Revolutions. The Scots and Irish who fought with their warrior clans for centuries for their independence from English rule. The Chinese who rose against a royal dynasty to form a republic, later to be disbanded by the Japanese and the communists. The Latinos who banded together throughout Central and South America to drive their imperial European masters from their shores. And the Africans who came here by force or immigration, who contributed mightily to the same vision, even when those running that vision oppressed them. Every one of us has patriotism rooted in our veins, no matter the race or cultural heritage. That is one thing we can be united under: patriotism for the United States. But in this modern day, national pride is suffering. Recent polls are showing that patriotism among Americans between 18 and 34 is at an all-time low of 40%. We now live in an age where Americans hate America. Young Americans confuse patriotism and national identity with the nationalism of fascist Europe. Patriotism is not pride in your country's misdeeds, faults, and injustices. It's pride in your country's resiliency and your country's future. Old Glory does not represent America's troubled past, but her resiliency and adaptation. The stars and stripes represent what America can be and where we can go as a society. Our country has been through so much in its short history, including a war that was nothing short of a nightmare that showed what happens when we choose stubborn partisanship. Let's not let those lessons be forgotten. We need to stop electing partisan politicians who spread divisive rhetoric and remember our roots to define one American culture that all can unite under, regardless of heritage.